Welcome back to Conversations That Build, the space where we explore the stories, the mindset, and the strategies behind people who are building something powerful. Success was never just about the titles, but the people behind them. Today's conversations is about real estate. We are joined by someone who has been navigating that world, creating opportunities, and helping others to invest in the future. Help me welcome Mr. Winston to the channel. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, no problem. I'm happy to have you today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you were before all the titles.
Before I got into real estate,
Yes.
so a little bit about me, my background. Really, I originated from Jamaica. Um, my background is in accounting. So my first degree is in management with a minor in accounting. I did that at the University of the West Indies back in Jamaica. At the time, I was aspiring to be an accountant. Um, but after some time, I recognized that this wasn't my dream. The truth is, from the day I came out of my mother's womb, I was a salesman. I used to sell my toys at Christmas, and so you know, I've realized that that's the direction in which I wanted to go. Over some time, I realized that it is really better to trade my time selling something with the hope of getting a bigger return than depending on a 9 to 5 to take me where I want.
Okay. Okay, that's really good. Since you were a kid, what you said you were selling your toys on
Yes.
Christmas. You already have the mindset. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey growing up when you were in Jamaica?
Okay, so I grew up in rural Jamaica. I used to travel 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Let me be correct. Actually, I woke up 4 o'clock in the morning. I would get up, I would walk 3 miles. Those where I live was pretty cool. We live up in the mountains.
Okay.
So by the time I got to the bus station with the hair oil my mother put in my hair, the little boy, my hair was white because it was out of dew.
Mhm.
And then we would take the market bus to Spanish Town from Guys Hill. It took me quite a bit of time, but my parents really were putting in the effort because they believed that I would make something of my life. So I went to San Diego in Jamaica. I got what back then was celebrated. I got 9 O levels back in the days. These days, nine is not such a big number. So after San Diego, I went I stayed in Spanish Town. After some time, traveling was just too much, and I boarded with some folks in Spanish Town. Then I went to from San Diego. I went to the University of the West Indies. How I got to University of the West Indies really was through a scholarship. I went to work first, and I went to Island Life. I went to Victorian Hotel first, then to Island Life. I got a scholarship. They paid for my tenure at University of the West Indies. Happy for that. I give thanks always. I also, during that time, started the fellowship with the Life Management Institute.
Okay.
And so I became FLMI. I was in papers, and from that, I got a lot of opportunities back in the
Yeah.
island.
You did you did a big good job. Yes, that's very great. You just enjoy and have some fun while you're studying everything, right?
I tell you something, I was very studious. I grew up from a very conservative background. Um, my parents were Christians, and we really never got a chance to go like to the dance and
Oh,
parties.
Christian,
Yeah,
the
the
Christian
Christian.
things.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Yeah.
so we grew up very conservative. We go to church on Saturdays, every Saturday, and but it doesn't never meant that we never had fun. I mean, the little boy growing up in the country, man, going to the river and splash and dash and had a lot of fruits it was I had a
Things that
wonderful
we
childhood. Yeah.
things that we don't have no more.
No, we don't have this in the
No.
States. Yeah. My kids, when I tell them that these things were picked from a tree, they're like, they can't believe it.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was my childhood. I really enjoyed my childhood, but I grew up in a very conservative background. My mother, from an early stage, taught me discipline, integrity, and
Yeah,
hard work. And that those are invaluable lessons, really.
that's very great. What first inspired you to enter to this industry, the real estate?
Real estate. Okay. Several things. I could go on for a very long time, but we have a very short program. But let's begin with my father being a general contractor.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a general contractor. He was the one who built the housing scheme in Maniga, one of the contractors. He built everything around the house. He would, get his hand dirty, and I took that from him. Um, I always like to go look at the houses that he built. He built some nice homes down in Runaway Bay, Cardiff Hall, those places. So I admire
Mm-hmm.
my father. I admire his work. Um, I just love to drive and look at homes. My wife will tell you that some of her best dates were just driving up into the mountain looking at people's homes. So from I was young, that was my thing. I always dreamt that I was going to live in a nice
Nice.
home, and so when the opportunity came for me to travel to the States, my family was by now in the States. By now, I left accounting. Didn't give it that part. I went into business, and I was selling at a merchandise business, wholesale business, and
Mm-hmm.
we sold just about everything.
Okay.
We imported stuff from Guyana, stuff from the States, and had a very successful business. But life in Jamaica can be tough with crime and all of that stuff, threatening your life and all of that. So we decided that when my first child was born, we were going to travel to the States, be with my family here. And I came to the States to visit I went to New York first. When I went to New York, I just didn't like how the place looked. It was just it's dirty to me, crowded, and where I live in Jamaica was quite nice, with the hills and green acres. I said to myself, I don't think I want this kind of life. But then I came to Miami, and I visited my elder brother, and he picked me up at the airport. He had a big white sombrero,
Okay.
and his white shorts, and he said, "Welcome to America." Never forget. I said, man, this could work. When I looked around, I saw the homes. The place was nice and warm, and like New York, just like freezing cold. In fact, when I
The
went
cold.
there, it was one of the worst blizzard. So when I came to Miami, I said, this could work. And he immediately showed me around and met with a real estate agent, and I started talking to him, the work. And when he explained to me, man, I said, I know that this is what I am going to do.
Yeah.
Yes. And I got into real estate um, within months of landing here in the United States. And would you believe my first trip to shore property? Back in Jamaica, we had Miss World contest. I don't know if I'm talking too much.
No, no, no.
Okay, but back in Jamaica, we had a Miss World contest. We had all these beautiful girls just to walk on the stage. And I think that the girl who came third, I think her name was Erica. I don't remember her name now, but she was actually here in the States. She migrated. And she was a leasing agent. And I went to the apartment complex because I was trying to get a place to rent for my customer. And my customer sat up front in the golf cart beside then Miss World, Miss International, but she was third place, right? So my client was sitting beside her, beautiful girl, and I'm sitting on the back of the car. And she said to me, listen, Winston, your work is done. Once you take the client here, we take it from here, and you get your commission. I said, oh, wow. Are you kidding me? And this is legal? Oh, my friend, I am going to kill this. And this is what I did. I decided I was going to do real estate. tripping around with a beautiful girl. All I need to do is show up with my client, and I get paid. I said, "Wow, this
Wow.
this this must be legal." Um, but it wasn't because I had to go to school. I had to learn all the laws and all the stuff that needs to be done, and I got much better at my craft as the days went by. But that is how I got into real estate because the product here in South Florida is one of the best in the world, and I've traveled far, near, around the world, and
Okay.
I can tell you, if you're thinking about buying a home, come to South Florida and call Winston Peart.
Yes.
Just put a plug in there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, that's great. Yeah. We know that success changes people. What did you have to become internally before you could go externally in your career?
Well, if I could sit here and tell you that it was all, you know, roses and bed of ease, I wouldn't be telling you the truth.
Mm.
They were tough times. In fact, the market, went south when interest rates went up. No
Mm-hmm.
one buying. If you recall the Great Recession, people were walking away from their homes. I too went through a very challenging time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, folks were going on their own stop and thinking about jumping off. It was a very difficult time. So I went through that. But from an early age, I learned that there is value in hard work. And it doesn't matter how high you go, if you remember your roots, then you can get your hands dirty. I learned to tile because I bought a 8 unit building back then when the market went south.
Mm-hmm.
I went into those rooms and I tiled them, I painted, I did my plumbing myself. So I learned those things during the tough times. So I'm telling you, if you learn to humble yourself, learn to be honest, treat people fairly. When I just got into the business, I used to listen to all these investors who were able to treat tenants so that they collect your money. And I started out like that, but over time, I learned that if you are good to people, then they're good to you.
Yes.
If you reason with them, be reasonable, then they'll be reasonable with you. And
So
as a
that's a
result,
cycle.
I've had built a good portfolio where my tenants and I have an excellent relationship. My employees and I have an excellent relationship because I believe at the end of the day, I answer to a higher authority.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really working to glorify my Father.
Right, your father.
And I try my utmost best at all time to make him proud of me. I don't always win, but for the most part, I do try, and it has been good so far.
Mm-hmm. That's great. What belief about money or success did you have to change in order to grow?
Uh, that's a very good question, actually. Yeah. Because if you do not respect money, then money will quickly flee. You've got to have a healthy respect for money. You got to know how much is coming in and how much is going out. If you don't know that, then more will go out than is coming in. Okay. I also believe that you need to get to that point where money works for you and you're not always working for money. Because when you get to the point where you understand the power of passive income and the power of money working for you, then that's where you get to the next level and your life becomes a little bit more easy. Yeah. So unfortunately, many of us we didn't learn that when we were growing up. We learned that you get a good education and you get a good job, and I've learned that job is just over broke. There was some time ago I got into multi-level marketing and was very good at it. I was a national director, and I learned passive income during that process. I can't say I was very happy about that experience, even though, it was a lot of glamour, you get to travel and talk and all of that. But in reality, I realized that a lot of people suffered. We're taken advantage of, and that's not one of the best chapter in my life, even though I made money there. But what I learned is the power of passive income. If you can get to a point where if you don't get up out of your bed, you have money coming in, that is power. And that is how the 1% thrive in America. What they never taught us as well is the value of the multiplication of money. If the only income you have is trading dollars for hours, meaning you spend hours in somewhere or somewhere for in return for dollars, then if you get sick, then the dollar's not coming in. So you want to get to a point where when you're sleeping, money is making. So I also trade in equities, futures, options. I invest in real estate. I invest in the market, and God has been good. Praise God, and as a young person, I am saying to you, if you learn to save, put some money away, even if you put it on fixed deposit, but do not spend all your money on pretty cars and glitter and glamour. What you want to do is invest in your future. Buy some Google, buy some a quality blue chip stock, put your money there, and just watch it grow.
Yes, that's a really good mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And also as a financial consultant, I do teaching people around that too.
Mm-hmm.
So all they can see for the future or how they can have a peace of mind for the future.
Right. So you tell them about life insurance.
Yes.
Right, because what I find too is that a lot of our people, they don't believe in life insurance.
Yeah.
They believe if you buy life insurance, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
It's not the
The reality is that we're all going to die. Might as well plan for your children and plan for their future. If the problem is that our generation haven't learned to give back to the next generation, other cultures have done so. And so what we want to do is we want to teach our children to get insurance, protect what you have. And boy, I've learned that these days. It's not how much money you make, it's how you keep it. Because in America, there's all kind of lawyers planning to take what you have earned. So you better learn how to protect it.
Yes, it's true. Pressure comes with responsibility. How do you train your mind to stay calm when everything depends on your decision?
Well, I learned to trust in God. This might sound way out of left field, but I'm just keeping it simple. I mean, without him, I don't know if I could have really balanced everything that I do. For example, where we are right now is a large, facility, or would say a large property, right, with over 300 residents. And I get all the questions, and I have to deal with all the questions, all the challenges. As a property manager, it is constantly problems, being reported by everyone. So the buck stopped with me, but I learned to pace myself, because sometimes you run ahead of yourself. But I learned to pace myself, and like I said, simply trust in God. There's a text in the Bible that says, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies." Yes, sometimes you got to learn to eat even when all the chaos is going around you. Yeah, yeah. Good, very good.
Trusting God is the best way to do it, to stay calm
Very good.
and to not be afraid of anything, just the process and pray a lot.
Very-
If someone wants to grow in business but struggles with self-doubt, what would you tell them?
Believe in yourself, and I would add, believe in God. But you see, not everything you try is going to work, but you just got to keep trying. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many business I have run. I've been in hardware, I've been in haberdashery, I've been in chemicals, real estate, You name it, I've been in it. Property management. I'm also a registered nurse, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I'm in healthcare. So I've tried just about everything. And the reason why I try just about everything, I want to try till something sticks and something works. And once you find what that is, then you run with it. That's my advice to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Very good.
And also, it is where you can discover like what you're really good at. Like even though you try, you fail, but don't see it as a failure, but just keep
Right.
going.
See it as a lesson. You learned something. Something it failed, but it was a lesson for you to learn
Yes.
to get to the next level. Yeah.
Before we finish, what advice would you give someone watching who wants to build something meaningful in their life?
Plan. Plan well. But don't be crippled by your plans. Sometimes we get lost in the analytics that we just don't start, right? I've learned when I was doing my MBA that sometimes it is better to have a prototype that is not totally finished, just to test it in the market and see how the market takes it, instead of spending all this time and then you realize it's not going to work. So you want to don't get into the mode of paralysis of analysis. Put your foot in the water and try. Remember, you're going to have doubters, folks who are going to run ahead of you. They're going to speak behind your back, and folks are going to be pulling you down and discourage you. The people who are timid, they have the best advice, but they just don't try. They're always going to tell you, do this, or you should have done that, or you didn't do that, but they're not doing anything. You set your plan, work your plan, then go. It might work, it might not work, but how are you going to know unless you try? And once you go to the deep, man, you keep on swimming, even when it seems like the waves are coming. You keep going. And if you keep going, one of these days you will find yourself treading above water, and it's going to get easier the longer you do it. I think you're going to do well with this. And if you keep doing this, I'm Bergeline. One day I'm going to see you on TV somewhere. And I'm going to say, you know something, when Bergeline just started out, I was one of the first person she interviewed. Oh, yes. And I'm going to be so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will keep doing it.
Right. Very good.
Keep on, guys. So this is exactly what Conversations That Build is about. Like, behind every title, there's a journey. Behind every success, there's a mindset.
Right.
And the real question is not just what you build, but who you become while building it.
Very good.
Yes. And thank you for sharing your journey and insight with us. And I was very, very happy to have you on the channel today. Hope to see you next time, right? Thank you. It was a wonderful blessing for me to be here. Totally enjoyed the conversation and looking forward to great things from you, Bergeline. May God bless you as you continue to do what you do. Thank you. It was Conversations That Build. Until next time.